Hey, back, it's me, Ian, and in today's video I'm continuing my look at the Hammer Indicator box set, which was kindly sent to me by Tony, and today we're looking at Nightmare from 1964. This is another brilliant Hammer film of that period. I'm just in awe when I watch these films now, just how so wonderful they are, and in many ways, perhaps, as I say, just are not as well known. And that's the great thing about Indicator bringing out these wonderful releases of Hammer films that perhaps, as I say, are lesser well known. So the film is 82 minutes long, usual sort of standard time. 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is quite good. I'd say this is held more in higher esteem, I think, at the time as well. It was seen as part of a particular trend and genre of this type of film. This was a support double bill to The Evil of Frankenstein, 1964 as well. I thought I'd just put that in because it links up quite nicely with the film. It's written by Jimmy Sangster, and it's produced by Jimmy Sangster. It has been described as a sort of psychological horror thriller, and there was quite a trend for this kind of film at this time. It was directed by Freddie Francis. Freddie Francis has got a wonderful set of films that he's involved with. Just a few. He was involved in another Hammer film, Paranoiac, 1963, starring Oliver Reed again. Oliver Reed often keeps popping up. The Evil of Frankenstein, which I just mentioned, was on the same double bill. He directed that, 1964. Then the Amicus film, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, from 1965. He directed that. And another Hammer film I've found, which is interesting, is Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, 1968. Fantastic. I love it. Just great. It's filmed at Bray Studios again. Some location work done at Wargrave in Berkshire. Yeah, so that's sort of some of the background to the film. Let's have a look at the cast. The cast, it stars, well, David Knight plays Henry Baxter. He's an American actor. I was looking, not a tremendous filmography. There are some TV stuff. The film that I noticed he was quite well known for is The Devil's Agenda from 1962, which is one of those rather good Cold War thrillers. He's involved in that, yes. Then we've got Myra Redman playing Grace Maddox, important character. She notably is in A Shot in the Dark, 1964, which is the second Pink Panther film. Yep. These often pop up a lot as well. If you notice, Pink Panther films, yeah, she's in the second one. Then we've got, I think, the significant casting here is Jenny Linden. Now, she plays Janet, central figure of Janet in this film. She, in fact, was an 11th hour replacement because it would have been Julie Christie. But Julie Christie was allowed by Amma to go, released from her contract to go and film Billy Liar, 1963, which is a classic British comedy drama film. So she was involved in that, and of course Julie Christie went on to be just in such a lot of great films. Great actress Julie Christie was, very much that era. But yeah, she would have played that. But anyway, the important thing is that Jenny Linden does such a wonderful job. Absolutely. And of course, yes, I've got another Doctor Who link. She was in the first big screen Doctor Who film, Doctor Who and the Daleks, 1965. She played Barbara, yes. She played Barbara, yeah. She's in that. I'm happy now, yes. The Peter Cushing 2 Doctor Who films that were made in the 60s. She's in the first one as Barbara. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Then, yes, I've got another quite important link. She was in Women in Love, 1969. Controversial film at the time. And Oliver Reed. Hey, what? I just bring it all on now. Yeah, link it all up. So say. Then we've got, now a very interesting role is Clitty Jessup. She's got a very recognisable face that pops up. She, in this film, plays the woman in white. And she doesn't really, well, it's quite a silent role, if you want to put it like that. But she had quite a significant role in the Amicus film Torture Garden from 1967, which was one of those anthology films that Amicus produced. Yeah, she's in that. It's one that's mentioned quite a lot. Then we've got Brenda Bruce playing Mary Lewis. Well, I'm so pleased to see this connection. She played Dora in Peeping Tom, 1960, a film I talk about. Nobody seems to listen to me. Nobody, well, I don't know. I never hear anybody still talking about it. But Peeping Tom was one of the most significant films of this era. It came out in 1960, just before Psycho, and it is now recognised as one of the great films because it's so innovative. It's an amazing film, and if Scorsese, as one of those directors who are now promoting it and was at the time out of his own money, just some significance. I've done a review of Peeping Tom, and I could just talk about Peeping Tom for hours, but yeah, she was involved in that film. So that she's a winner for me. Yeah. The story behind Peeping Tom as well is fascinating, explaining why it's not as well known and recognised. But yes, it should be recognised, perhaps as one of the real first slasher films, and also the psychological horror, seeing the film from the viewpoint of the psycho. The camera is the eyes of the psycho when he's killing. It's an amazing film. It really is. Anyway, she was in that as Dora. And then she had lots of TV works, but yeah, always significant for me in that. So that's the sort of main cast members. um, in this film. And what is the film about? Yes, you're thinking, what is the film about? Well, the film, it focuses on this girl, Janet, who at 11 years old saw her mum murder her father. Um, he, she was totally insane. She was stabbed him to death and was declared insane, and she was placed in an asylum, as they used to call them. These very forbidding places, dark places. That's how this kind of thing was dealt with in those days, in these asylums. And then Janet is effectively a plague throughout her life, to this point, with that, with those events. I mean, there is the question: is she going to be like her mother? That is there as a question, and she's increasingly plagued by these nightmares, and she is effectively she just decides that she can't stay at the school. She wants to go home, so she goes home, and a teacher actually takes her home. And a teacher's quite important because she's trying to help her and support her, and that's how the story sort of gets going. We see how increasingly things are not going well for her. Basically, she's so haunted and plagued by these nightmares, and we see how the other characters are part of this. And there's always that question when you're watching this film: what is actually going on? What is really behind this? Who is behind it? That's the question. I suppose in many ways you kind of work it out reasonably early, I suppose, to some extent, but there's still always that doubt, and it's just wonderfully done, and you can't help but love this. There's a lot of this kind of film in that era, where you have characters whose motives are often behind their motives. It's their own greed, their own way of driving other people mad for their own personal gains, because they need to do that. It's a real wonderful sort of genre of films of this, the sort of schizoid, paranoid film, the hysteria. It's all linked so well. This is the horror thriller part of it all, and it's so wonderfully done. I mean, in many ways, I think it's in black and white. This film, it's another of these Hammer films that were done in black and white, and that kind of, I think, really makes this film stand out. I think the black and white, definitely. And right from the very beginning, you get an idea where this film is. It's got this like dreamlike quality at the beginning. This opening scene, and you're watching it, and you start to get really drawn into this dreamlike nature, which then turns into the nightmare, and you see inside her mind, and it's beautifully done. That it really is. It sets the whole film up. I think you absolutely adore this film when you watch it. I mean, they're all so good, aren't they? All these films are good, and you just watch them and think, wow, yeah. I mean, this is 1964. Fantastic, isn't it? It's a treat. It's a real privilege and treat to watch these films and seeing this and the performances, and I'm just in love with Hammer. I think why they did such a wonderful job on everything. There it is. Fantastic film. I think that's all. You need to see it. Watch it. It's full of everything that you love about Hammer. This was given a 2016 Blu-ray release, and then here we are in 2021. It was released in this Indicator box set, and here is the film from it. Look at that cover, and we've got all the extras on there, and look, fantastic. The disc, all the artwork, the booklet, and the extras. Extras, as always, are absolutely fantastic. Indicator, they're amazing. I mean, the value that they give to a release is amazing. The care and attention. Here's the box set again. As I say, it's just, fantastic. And that's it. Yes. Okay. If you're new to this, then please subscribe, and we'll let you know when I produce these videos. Or if you're not new and haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because we'll let you know when I produce the videos. And if you like it, please give it a like. It costs note, and it all helps with algorithms and all that stuff, and you know what I mean, don't you? And if you've got any comments, please put your comments. Type them down, and I'll answer all your comments. I just love reading them, and hopefully you have this enthusiasm, which, I'm like a preacher man with Hammer films, I think, at the moment. But yes, so yeah, that's all I've got to say is I'll see thee again.